Wait, what? What? Wait, what? What? What are we talking about? Night ravens? What? What the fuck are we talking? Oh! Ravens! Oh, have a good night, Lord Ravens. Have a good night. So, chat, let's check this one out. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna be able to commentate on it, but we'll give it a try. So this one is... So we're gonna do which sci-fi faction has the best power armor. It's Halo, Star Wars, Warhammer 40k, and Fallout. I actually don't really know anything about Warhammer 40k, so I'm kind of going into this like blind, honestly. Yeah, Revan, I'm gonna say I'm a little disappointed that Starship Troopers wasn't included in this. I am kind of disappointed about that, but it is what it is. Starship Troopers isn't as huge a franchise as these four, so. But let's check this out and let's see what I have to say.
On today's episode of Factions Compared, we examine power armor. Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to another episode of Sci-Fi Factions Compared. I'm happy to say that today's video is sponsored by what's probably my favorite video game right now, Fortnite. If you want to support my channel, check the link in the description where you can download Fortnite for free. For those who don't know, Fortnite is a free-to-play PvP game featuring 100 players, all vying to be the last one standing. It has fully destructible environments, buildable structures, and you can play alone or with your friends. It's available on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. I play PC, and the nice thing is it runs even on kind of mid-level or low-level PCs like mine, and although I'm not the best, I'm actually recording some footage also for my second channel if you want to check that out. But seriously, a big thank you to Epic Games. It really helps in months like this where views are down and CPM is lower. And I legitimately turn down sponsorship requests every day because I don't like or I'm not familiar with the product, so I was super happy to get offered this one. Again, if you want to support the channel,
there you go, Tornado.
Fortnite, link down in the description. Also, feel free to add me if you play on PC. My username is EckhartsLadder Anyway, on to the content. As I said, today we are looking at 4 different types of science fiction power armor. Specifically, we're going to draw from the Star Wars, Halo, Fallout, and Warhammer 40,000 universes. The key here is that we're not going to be looking at which soldier is the most effective, but rather which armor is itself best. So it doesn't matter whether Space Marines or Spartans or Fallout soldiers or whoever is more powerful, because that's not what's important here. Let's look first at the Fallout universe, and Fallout certainly has some of the...
I'm gonna flat out say, right off the jump, my first thought is the Fallout armor is gonna be the weakest out of the 4. Well, the Helldiver is probably too small as a franchise. I'm guessing he had to choose 4, and he probably just chose the 4 most popular. But I will say, out of these 4, the Fallout armor is by far going to be the weakest. It's made out of just metal. Whereas all the rest of them are made by like some super sci-fi metal that doesn't exist in reality. Whereas this is just made from metal. So, and you know, it's nuclear powered. So on its face, the Fallout armor right off the jump, I think the Fallout armor is going to be the weakest. Now, Star Wars armor, if they go, I'm guessing they may go beyond simple Stormtrooper armor. They're going to go with like a power armor for Stormtroopers, which I think is going to be more powerful.
The most iconic power armor in gaming. I wanted to pick one specific armor type for each universe, and I actually had some difficulty with Fallout. There's the X-01 armor, the Enclave Hellfire armor, and the Advanced Power armor, all of which are really the best options within the universe. Thankfully, despite some minor differences, most power armor types were pretty similar. The armor's most important aspect was obviously its extreme resistance to damage. The suits were bulky, they were thick, and they could take a pounding. While rudimentary versions only stopped projectiles, more advanced versions could also stop things like heat, radiation, energy blasts, etc. However, even the most common power armor could generally stand up to a tank round, so we're dealing with a lot of protection here. Hydraulic systems, micromotors, and other internal components also increased the strength of the wearer, allowing them to, for example, wield very heavy weapons. These systems, along with the suit's internal energy source, also allowed the user to move.
You know what? I didn't factor that. That the power armor also increases a person's strength, allowing them to very easily pick up heavy objects. Even the Death Trooper armor doesn't do that. The one thing the Death Trooper, if he uses the Death Trooper armor, key factor there is if he uses the Death Trooper armor. The Death Trooper armor, its one defining feature is it's pretty much invulnerable to everything except a lightsaber. To my memory, I think only a lightsaber can get through a Death Trooper's armor, if I'm remembering the lore correctly. But it doesn't enhance strength, I don't think. I don't know, it's been a while since I looked at the Death Trooper armor. But yeah, the enhanced strength is a factor I forgot about. Yeah, and it's like, it's resistance to radiations and stuff like that. Maybe.
Move. These suits, however, were very heavy. Even the most advanced suits, which were made with the lightest materials, restricted the user's speed, movement, and flexibility. So it's certainly a trade-off, but when wearing power armor, you turn into a tank. You can absorb a lot of damage, you can wield heavy weapons, but you're not getting anywhere extremely quickly. One final thing about power armor is that it was often modified to fit specific mission profiles. So if you're going somewhere extremely hot, for example, wear Hellfire armor. If you're going to be facing down, or perhaps wielding energy weapons, then the Tesla armor is for you. Alright, let's move on now and take a look at the Space Marine power armor from Warhammer 40,000. With Warhammer, I think it's important that we make a distinction between actual power armor and mech suits. I think the suit that comes closest to that line without actually stepping over it is the Mark X Tacticus armor. Space Marine armor is, well, good. It offers protection, but doesn't restrict the wearer's movements in the same way as Fallout's power armor. Through neural sensors, a Space Marine's mind is tied directly into the armor. The armor is then filled with mechanized bits.
Yeah, okay, that mobility there. Well, again, Big Dog, remember, the criteria was not the Space Marine itself. This is judging the armor purely on a technical standpoint, not judging it based upon the wearer. So that's the key factor here. But the very movements we just saw with this guy going ham
into the armor. The armor is then
that is a hell of a lot more. You have a hell of a lot more mobility with this thing versus the mobility of the Fallout sits. So right there, that's one point of the Space Marine over the Fallout sits, is the mobility.
With mechanized bits, which allows it to move as fast as the wearer would unencumbered. The Mark X Tacticus takes this to the extreme. The armor makes no sound, it's very light, you could probably almost forget that you were wearing it. I mean, you wouldn't want to forget you're wearing it, however, because it offers a host of benefits. It increases the user's strength through integrated electrical systems. It has automated first aid and life support and thrust.
Oh! Now that's something the Fallout power armor doesn't have. Integrated first aid and life support. That's a big tick against the Fallout power armor, is it doesn't have those internal systems.
Which allow the suit to fight effectively in 0G. Some variants of the Tacticus also had jump jets, and the suit is made.
Can they backtrack? I never heard about Fallout power armor having integrated first aid. I never heard about that. Okay, cool, Jameson. You'll have fun. I mean, stim packies. Patra, I'm not going to count that. Because you have to actually load it with stim packs. Whereas this power armor for the Space Marine, it comes standard. The first aid and life support comes standard on the Space Marine power armor. So I don't know if I would qualify the optional stim pack auto injection? Is it? Auto stim pack, jetpack, and life support is standard on Fallout armor. Okay. Okay, fair enough. I didn't think it was.
So the
Strange
user
you did
can
mention
operate heavy weaponry effectively. Unsurprisingly, Space Marine armor is very durable. Small arms aren't going to be effective against it, and really if you want to do any serious damage, you're going to want to pull out some anti-vehicle weaponry. There are more durable sets, like the Terminator armor, but I think the Tacticus offers the best combination of speed, strength, and defense. Another reminder though, we have to actually separate the armor from the armor when being worn by someone in universe. Keep that in mind because we all know how powerful and pretty much godly Space Marines are. Let's move on now to Halo. And Halo is famous for its iconic Mjolnir armor. And let's be honest, there are so many different variants, it's super hard to keep it all straight. However, things got a little bit simpler in Halo 4 with the introduction of Mjolnir Generation 2. All previous sets fall under various marks of Mjolnir Generation 1. Let's just talk generally about what the Spartan armor does. It offers not only protection, but also significantly enhances the user's abilities. A user's speed, reflexes, strength, and basically everything else is massively changed when wearing their Mjolnir set. In The Fall of Reach, Halsey says, the armor's inner structure is composed of a new reactive metal liquid crystal. It's amorphous, yet fractally scales and amplifies the force. In simplified terms, the armor doubles the wearer's strength and enhances the reaction speed of a normal human being by a factor of 5. Keep in mind
that's a significant boost over, over the Fallout and Warhammer armors. It's not only getting increased speed, it's increased reaction time by a factor of 5. So not only are you able to use this armor and have very good flexibility in movement, but your reaction time is quintupled. So that's a factor. You know, you can be tough and you can even be a little bit fast, but if you're 5 times as fast or reactive as before, it makes a difference. You know, when it comes down to a fight, it very often comes down to who can throw the punch first or who can pull the trigger first.
This is all talking about Gen 1, Mark 1 of the armor, so things have drastically changed by the time we get to Gen 2. The armor is infused with Covenant and Forerunner technology, so those numbers will certainly not hold up. The quality and skill of Spartan 4s actually speaks to just how impressive and how advanced Generation 2 is. In fact, the armor is probably the most important part of the program. Spartan 4 recruits are fully grown and only undergo minimal augmentation. However, because of how good the Generation 2 armor is and how heavily it augments the user, they're basically as effective as a Spartan 2 or 3 wearing Gen 1 armor. Besides for these sort of passive, on-the-fly augmentations, Gen 2 offered several
Okay, so if I'm understanding that correctly, hang on, I want to hear that again because, Leo, this may be a counterpoint to what you just said. I want to hear that again.
4 recruits are fully grown and only undergo minimal augmentation. However, because of how good the Generation 2 armor is and how heavily it augments the user, they're basically as effective as a Spartan 2 or 3 wearing Gen 1 armor. Besides for these sort of passive, on-the-fly augmentations, Gen 2 offered several advancements when compared to predecessor models. It had built-in thrusters, as well as advanced motion tracking, communication, enemy identification, and visor HUD system.
Yeah, I mean, this movement alone, like, here's the perfect example. The movement alone of this in the Spartan armor is so much more than Fallout armor and the Warhammer armor. Like, the Warhammer armor, like, obviously, Fallout armor is clunky. You're not doing fuck all except walking and maybe punching. The Warhammer 40k armor, it ups the maneuverability, so you're more agile. The Spartan armor, you're fucking acrobatic practically. And yeah, that is a major factor in combat, is your maneuverability is a huge factor. Because just because your armor does not mean you want to just stand there and take hits. You want to be able to not only take hits, but be able to dodge also. And like while either the someone in Fallout armor or Warhammer armor is like doing these admittedly clunky swings, the Spartan's jumping and leaping and spinning out of the way about 5 different times before the swing is even complete. So that's now as far as how much damage the Spartan armor can take, how much damage the Mjolnir armor can take, that is also a factor, and that's probably coming up shortly.
Durability wise, I think the Mjolnir comes in at about the midway point. It does have an energy shield, but the physical armor itself is obviously not as bulky and likely as durable as some of the other entries on this list. Finally, Mjolnir Gen 2, like most Mjolnir models, could be heavily customized to fit the wearer's needs, whether that's sniping, close range combat, vehicle piloting, or something else. Finally, we have the dark.
Alright, so that is the one downside to the Mjolnir armor, is it's not as robust. So if either of the other two was to get a good solid hit, the Mjolnir armor might not stand up to a good solid hit from either of the two. That's when the downside is. So the question comes into play, what's more important? Durability or agility? That's the question. Which is more important in combat? And it's not a simple answer. It's not a simple, oh, obviously durability is more important, or oh, obviously agility is more important. But that's, if you were to pit the Mjolnir armor against either the Warhammer armor or the Fallout armor, that's what it would boil down to. If in a combat where it's decided that way, is what's going to come out on top, durability or agility. Oops.
Or something else. Finally, we have the Dark Trooper Phase 3 armor. Although this phase of the Dark Trooper project is more commonly associated with battle droids, as shown by General Mock, the armor also could be worn personally. The armor is actually pretty cool. I mean, it does the standard things like enhancing durability and strength, though it does seem to be rather slow, sort of again, like a walking tank. We've talked about that for all the other entries, I think it's expected, but the key thing the Phase 3 armor does differently is the fact that it's a weapons platform. The armor has several integrated blasters, grenade launchers, seeker missile launchers, which I think will be familiar to anyone who's played either Shadows of the Empire or Dark Forces, and of course, a jetpack. There's not a whole lot else to say. I mean, obviously that's a lot of firepower. However, if you're wearing powered armor, you can probably secure weapons in some other fashion. With that being said, let's rank our power armor.
Okay, wait. That was a very police description of the Death Trooper power armor. Very police. Honestly, because he didn't even say what it's made from. So that's like really odd. Honestly, it would be between the Mjolnir armor or the Space Marine armor. That's kind of what it's between. Yeah, Leo, well, also Leo, Kyle Katarn, had that main character energy. So, yeah, Atanashi, you're right. He kind of almost did Star Wars about as dirty as Disney has. You like it, you're liking the Mandalay, huh, Tornado? I told ya. And yes, Leo, I know, hell, he becomes a Jedi Master. He teaches your character in Jedi Academy. Yes, I know. You're welcome, Tornado. Alms, were they? They were made of a lightsaber-resistant alloy? The armor was a Beskar, artificial Beskar. Yeah, but Luke was able, but they weren't made out of Beskar when Luke was taking them out in the Mandalorian show. Because they were droids, but Luke was taking them out with the lightsaber and he was able to crush them with the Force. So I didn't think that they were Beskar armored. I didn't think anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought they weren't. Oh, okay, so he was hitting the not Beskar droids. Okay, yeah, okay, I'll buy that. I'll buy that. There was another fight late in the series where the armor fully stopped the Darksaber. Ah, okay. And okay, so it's only Disney Star Wars that did that. I wasn't sure when the Dark Troopers came out in Star Wars canon, be it pre-Disney or post-Disney. Because I kind of fell out with the Star Wars quote unquote legacy lore some time ago, so I wasn't sure when they entered into canon. I know Dark Forces was well before Disney. That I did know. I never played Dark Forces myself. Now, it was a DeLorean ally, which is not as good, still better than Durasuit. Okay. So basically, it looks like the Death Trooper armor is about the same as the Fallout Power armor. I'd say the Dark Trooper armor is on par with Fallout. Those two are probably fundamentally the same. Although the Death Trooper armor has heat-seeking missiles, which that's a big plus. That is a big plus to have missiles as part of your weapons platform. It's honestly between Mjolnir and Space Marine armor. And again, that would depend upon the fight. Is what would be better is durability or agility. And that's a toss-up, honestly. It is kind of a coin flip. Okay, so quick ranking, chat. Quick ranking. Which one do we think is going to be the bottom? Which ranking are we going to say is the bottom? I'm thinking it's either Fallout armor or Dark Trooper armor. What do you guys think? So we're starting at the bottom armor. Okay, I'm seeing majority of Fallout at the bottom. Okay, let's see if we're right. Let's see if he starts at the bottom. I'm assuming he is.
Armor from worst to best. Coming in at number 4 is the power armor of the Fallout universe. I don't think the individual model matters so much, as most of the technology is pretty simple. The armor is very durable, it offers the user a lot of protection, but even the lightest versions are still pretty slow. And while the strength upgrade is nice, I don't think it's really game changing. It's mostly there to help the user wield heavy weapons. Which brings us into number 3.
Alright, number 3. Which one do you think? I think it's going to be the Dark Trooper armor. Number 3, I think is going to be Dark Trooper. What do you guys think? Star Wars, Dark Trooper, Dark Trooper. Yep, everybody's saying Dark Trooper.
The Phase 3 Dark Trooper. I see the Dark Trooper as basically a weaponized version of Fallout power armor. The user is fairly slow, although the...
Alright. Chat. Guess what I'm gonna do? Guess what I'm gonna do? It is prediction time. We are going to be doing a prediction. No, not a poll. A prediction. We're actually gonna do prediction. Okay? So, which power armor is number 1? Alright? So either Space Marine or Fable. Actually, let me just do... I can't spell it, so... I forgot how it's spelled. Alright. So, it's gonna be Space Marine or Halo. Okay? This is a prediction. You're spending your points. We're actually gonna have a challenge here. This is going to be an actual challenge where it could be split right down the middle. So, chat, begin your predictions. Which one will be the number 1 armor? And by the way, if you've seen this, no cheating. No voting if you've seen this. Okay, this could end up being good. this is probably one of our first predictions that we might actually see some consequence. You've seen a Chaos Hunter? Okay. Ooh, the tension is palpable. Oh, wow. Okay. One side is getting very, very high. Oh my. I'm thinking I'm seeing a lot for one particular side. Oh my, a great deal for one particular side. Oh, and if you're wrong. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. All right. All right. Let's see.
Dark Trooper does have a jetpack, but they can bring with them a lot of destruction. I like how the Dark Trooper armor is packed to the brim with missile launchers and blasters and cannons and grenades, but I think it would be more effective if it were just a little less bulky. Either that, or if it made use of some sort of internal mechanized system, like on number 2 spot. The Space Marine armor from
Space Marines came in at number 2.
Warhammer 40k. Is a Space Marine deadlier than a Spartan? Probably, but that's not what we're looking at here. We're looking at how good their actual armor is. Space Marine armor is...
And yeah, he pointed that out and I pointed that out. It's not about who's wearing the armor. It's about the technical specs on the armor itself.
Unquestionably more durable, and it's very fast, but I don't think it offers the same advantages of the Mjolnir Gen 2. The durability is incredible, the fact that the user can move very fast without much noise in such a heavy piece of armor is very impressive, but I think the number 1 spot still has to go to Halo's Mjolnir armor. Mjolnir isn't just an extension of one's person, it's an amplification of one's person. Mjolnir increases a user's strength, speed, durability, reflexes, basically everything with top-of-the-line systems that allows AI integration, team communication, basically anything else you'd want. And no Mjolnir armor is as impactful as Mjolnir Gen 2, which brings the hardly trained, hardly augmented Spartan 4s almost on par with Spartan 2s. That's an incredible accomplishment. Of course, the standard person can't operate.
And that's a big factor. You put an untrained Spartan in here, he's on par with a trained Spartan. You put a trained Spartan in here, holy fuck, it turns into almost God tier. That is a decisive factor there. Is all that. Is that this is not just armor, it basically turns you into a fucking superhuman.
Mjolnir armor, but that's true for every single piece on this list. And of course, it doesn't stop it from being the very best. That of course is just my opinion. Let me know what you think. Am I totally off, and is Mjolnir not as good as Space Marine armor? Am I discounting Fallout or Star Wars or something else? Let me know down in the comments section, along with any ideas you guys have for future videos. If you want to support the channel, make sure to click the link down in the description, download Fortnite, join the Discord, and maybe we'll have some sort of game night very soon. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, this has been EckhartsLadder. May the Force be with you.
Alright. Let me first disseminate points. So the Halo armor is the winner. Congratulations to the winners. Congratulations. Alright. So, let's see some of these comments. Best armor is plot armor. First comment out of the gates. Fucking based. Absolute fucking based. First fucking comment. Right there. Let's see. People are saying that 40k universe takes place 40,000 years in the future in near constant war, fighting much larger enemies. Of course, it's OP. But of course, the standard person can't wear Mjolnir armor, but that is true for every piece on the list. Meanwhile, a housewife lawyer just hops in the suit of power armor after being frozen for 200 years and fights an overrun lizard. Not wrong. Pony's rule is not wrong about that. Solo among Wizard Rack protection is but giving the firepower of a small squad to a single soldier. Spartan 4s are just as effective as Spartan 2s, then why did Locke get his ass kicked by a near 50-year-old Spartan? Okay, this is discounting the fact that, again, he was not talking about the person in the armor, he was talking about the stats of the armor itself. So, Mr. Jorvan was ignoring that part. Did you really research Warhammer 40k because you kind of missed some features that the armor has? Oh? You missed some features? Okay. As much as I love Halo and prefer it over 40k, 48 Karma does everything the Mjolnir armor does, but better, and so I must say this is heresy. I will fight forever about my favorite being Halo, but an Astartes armor is better. It just is, everything's better, no contest. Someone in chat mentioned that the Astartes armor. If you want to make things really wild, throw the nano suit from Crisis in the mix. Pitting Fallout against other universes is flat out unfair. The Fallout universe is more advanced than our world, yes, but looking at all of the universes, they are little bubs. Fallout's power armor is very advanced for the game, but compared to power armor they have in Star Wars or Halo, it makes it look like an old world artifact. I understand they made big complications for not having enough universe space off. Well, honestly, I think it would have been better, instead of the Fallout armor, to put in the Starship Troopers armor. I think the Starship Troopers armor would have been a good comparison alongside these three, instead of the Fallout armor. I would have actually liked to have seen that. That would have been actually pretty fucking cool. Well, I mean, Drivos, he didn't even choose the Astartes armor. That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Starship Troopers armor does have agility as built-in weapon systems. As built-in fucking nukes. The Starship Troopers armor has built-in fucking nuke racks. So, like, what the fuck? Yeah, there was a few that got, there was a few things. There are a couple power armors I could have chosen that I would have preferred to see.